sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know say me if it go flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away me say. Have to take away me say. I have to utilize I wings. Surely I leave
Greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Monday. When it's Monday, it's really current news in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and around the world. Today we're gonna be, talking about current things that is happening in the news today in Jamaica. Things like crime, tourism, you name it. We're still going to continue on where we left off on last week. So I got Flavius, Courtney, Errol, and others will be joining us. So stick and stay. Don't go nowhere. I will be right back with the rest of the crew.
take away myself. I have to utilize I will. Show the eye a clean berries. Through the door, take away ourselves.
Self-mastery. On the journey to self-mastery, travel light. Unpack the baggages of expectations, people-pleasing, and likes. In the temple of your soul, work out your own salvation. The past is gone, nothing to salivate on. Learn from it. This moment is all we have. In it bears the seed of hope. Make every minute counts. Water its roots. Keep it interesting. Investing what it has to contribute. Stand firm like sojourner in your own truth. Your own truth. You don't need a second opinion or no one's permission. You are your own muse. Reserve your energy. The more you make sense, the more you make enemies. The world is a fractured place. Broken humans holding on to thin air, balancing on a tightrope of despair, lacking social intelligence, consumer-driven society, manipulating the essence of your existence. Be your own apprentice. Master yourself. Confront the demons in your head. Elevate your moral landscape. Get out of your self-imposed cage. Use the tools you came with to construct castles and cast spells. You are the architect of your own life, the alchemist. Your mind is a gold mine. Self-mastery is the highest calling. We become what we think. We become what we think. Thoughts are things. The source of our misery and happiness comes from within. Work on your weaknesses. Honed your talents and skills. Experiences are valuable gifts. Time works its own magic. It will convert your passion into profit. Eliminate the deadlines in your mind. There is no magic carpet. Climbing up the winding staircase of success, you need a firm grip. Take your hands out of your pocket. Life is not a Rubik's Cube. All the colors of your dreams won't fall into place with a few clicks. The universe is a university that loves to teach. What you don't learn, it repeats. Obstacles are tests. Your best teachers are your past mistakes. Be gentle with yourself. Life is not fair. Everybody won't like you. Nothing to be scared. They are not the reasons you're still breathing. Get over it. Who cares? Who cares?
Yes. That was Cherry Natural. Top of the morning. To those of you.
Top of the morning, Sir Franco.
Yeah, top of the morning.
What's happening in your neck of the woods? Errol, what's happening in your neck of the woods this morning?
Well, I have a number of current news to mention, but I'll wait until the discussion starts. National current news. Well, the sun is shining, and the freedom in the air of no movement day. Only yesterday, Sunday, was the only implemented no movement day, and hadn't much report yet in terms of how the compliance was. Okay. But we know that today is no more no movement, so people are back at work Monday and Tuesday. They were the regular 2 days in addition to Sunday. Okay. So it's been freedom. And I have some news to share with you when you start the discussion.
Okay, sir. I'll wait. What's happening in your neck of the woods, Courtney?
Yeah, in my neck full of woods, it's sun is shining, weather is cool.
Wow.
yeah, so there are some temperature changes going on. The fall is creeping in, so true. You have to just dress appropriately.
Yeah, because we're on the tailwind of summer. I think actually another day left, and then that's the ending of summer. Today is what, the 19th? No, today is the 20th.
20th.
Well, I think today is the day that will summer officially end. So, yes, I know places like Jersey and we call it Canada, Chicago, and all them places are going to start have the cooler temperature coming in. That's good. That's good to hear. I know we started late, so let me apologize because I was running late. I wasn't in studio, so I'm here now. So anyway, we have last week we started out. We were discussing crime and tourism, and I wasn't satisfied. I'm not satisfied with some of the the stuff because when it comes to crime, because I know there's a lot more that could be said. One of the things that I am hearing from a couple of people in Jamaica in neighborhoods that I come from is that people want to work, right? And but them said they will find work for idle hands, and if some people, they don't see the economy stimulating for them. Put it that way, And one of the things that I was discussing is that there are so many things that can be done in neighborhoods like West Kingston, East Kingston. The neighborhoods is very shabby. I look at it when I was there 2 years ago. I can't believe the place. I never know about Bakawal. I've never seen it when I was a kid because I never go into that part of it. But hearing people talk about Bakawal, that's where West Kingston look to me now. You understand me? The place full of graffiti, and it's not graffiti that we can say yes. If it is a art district area, so the graffiti that is there is is referring to exhibit that people express themselves or artists express themselves. Now, on the road and the streets, them grass are growing on some of the road, some lanes, and there's a lot that can be done.
Well, Franco, there is and this is maybe within the main road, like the King Streets and the Duke Streets, where there is some movement to do a lot of murals on the walls to uplift and to send positive messages. But I think you're speaking about the inner parts.
I'm not talking about that part where they just discover and want to turn it like an art deco. Not that area. I'm talking the community at large.
And then, of course, as you've said, that the yard where Bob Marley and Bunny Wailer were, that was a protected site. It was burnt down yesterday or recently. So I don't know if it burned down to the ground, but it's been badly burnt, and so that is going to be.
You see that.
But board.
I never know about that. It's news to my ears. No. That's news to my ears this morning here, coming from you. One of the news that I don't know if I think I sent it to Courtney and those who familiar with the player, Roy Welch. He passed.
Yes, that was I saw that too.
Yeah, so famous footballer for Cavaliers and Jamaica as well, and did some coaching. So he passed away last night at the UWI hospital. Oh. So condolence to the family and friends. I had the opportunity of playing against and with him. When I say against and with him, I was a junior member of Cavaliers Football Club. Play a minor league, so we'd get some, practice games against Rye and David Bernard, two stalwart in centre half, and they were like what do you call it now? The twins. You beat one, the next one is there to clean up.
Yes.
They had that connection, and they had a way that they could, they would jack you or sell themselves so that the next one could, easily intercept the ball. So condolence to, family and friends, famous Roy Welch, man. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, so back to the crime. One of the things, because we know crime is not something that we're going to get rid of. It's not going to be that easy to get rid of.
True.
But I think we can, and I'm not referring just to the government. No, any government that's in power, have to find ways to curtail it. Make sure so that it's not escalated to a way where people are even afraid of going back home. I've talked to a lot of Jamaicans, and some of the first thing that hit them now go back to Jamaica go live because of what? the crime.
That is true, Franco. That is true. I'll tell you this before Courtney comes in. Just yesterday on the news, in a particular place in St. Catherine, a policeman was killed during I think it would have been during the curfew time, 1:30 in the night, in the morning, and he and some men were playing dominoes, and they have police teams pretty near, and yet they found 6 men. It is said allegedly, who apparently knew him. It is alleged. Killed him, but the others were not hurt. And just to mention the point that you are mentioning measures, and even some of the measures, because they were near, teams of police were near, and yet they found the time and the skill, quote unquote, and the braveness to go and kill the police. So we just, every day we hear about new crimes and people being killed and so on, and it is a wave of crime is going on. And so the COVID is killing criminals are taking lives, and it is frightening, I tell you.
Yeah. No, it's something that I know that happened. We were on ear a couple of weeks ago, and it was mentioned by I remember the discussion that he heard that one person got killed at the time during the lockdown. It was the No Movement.
Yes.
And they killed that young lady who I happen to know well, went to school with her, and know the family well. And I was saying, I mean, I know the yard that she live in, but what I was saying, is why is it then when we have lockdown or curfew, I thought the street would be busy with police and soldier, going through, combing the areas, making. I mean, you can't be in every area, in every lane, in every corner. I know that, but the presence of these officers would have meant something, right?
Well, put it this way. The point I just made is that within a particular location, teams of police were nearby so that they could come in quickly, and they took the policeman to the hospital. So they were not far away. Mm-hmm. But the point is personnel and availability of officers. But I don't know if enough of the soldiers are being put in. So the point you're making still stands, that we need to have more police officers, joint military police officers on the road. But I guess it is in terms of population to number of law enforcement officers. So I don't know if it will ever get to that point where they can be spread out and keep it, because the people who are the violence producers, as they call them, are very smart, and you don't know who is being tipped off from where people are located. You don't know, you just don't know.
One of the thing I remember in about 2013 and 2014, I was in Jamaica that time, and there was a lot of police and soldier presence on the street, on the highways and the byways. There was a lot. I remember one evening, like about 2:00, we were traveling from Kingston to Spanish Town. And that time I never expected that the traffic would be, so congested. And I said to my friend who was driving, why is the traffic so heavy? He said, well, I know it must be an accident down the bottom of the road. Even though at the time construction was going on, you was able to drive free, the traffic would flow freely. When we got further down, we saw the reason why the traffic was congested. It was the presence of the police and the soldier, and they were emptying out people from minivans and searching, and then people would go back in, and we were in the car watching from a distance the way the traffic was held up, and I was like, wow, this is good. Main road. You see the main road, but the side roads and the inner community. When you go side road, you would find them. I got stopped many times in 2013 and 14 by members of the police force in cars that we were many times, and I was like, all they were doing was just random checks. They weren't looking for no wanted men, as such. They were just checking to make sure that hey, have no contraband, or drive with no weapon and things like that. And maybe if them know those who were were criminals, they would apprehend them too.
Yes.
And I felt safe that time.
It is true. Safe. Once you see them on the road, you will feel safer.
I felt
so
safe.
The point is made. You can't get around it. That is what is needed as part of the solution. But then, as I said, it's population ratio of police officers available. But in talking about crime, to pivot a little, this morning, it is said, well, not is said, it is news, that 30 alleged members of a gang, we'll call the name, are to be tried in the Home Circuit Court in Kingston today. 30 members, if my number is correct. And because of that, sections of downtown will be blocked off so that there can be at least contain any attack from anyone. So speaking about crime, part of the measures have been see if they can curtail gangs. And as somebody said last time, they know the number of gangs, they know the names of the gangs, but then the legislation had to be strengthened. Hopefully, the legislation has been strengthened, and we can get some positive results out of this. So that is the main thing I have to say with respect to current news, away from some other points after the others have brought their points.
What is there that can juice the economy and make the economy start work for people?
Well, put it this way. Again, we have said tourism is part of it. Mm-hmm. And of course, the discussion as to whether the tourism dollar is filtering out into the neighborhood. But these are economic decisions and strategies that people who are economists can say. I mean, I can only say what I think. I'm not an economist, and maybe Flavius would have more to contribute to that. But the economy is a factor of growth, you know. And part of the economy is kept up by remittances from mainly the United States. It's still a big factor. And I think I remember the Minister of Finance saying that it has been strong throughout the pandemic. I don't know what is the miracle. You guys who are up there are still sending money. So that is part of the upholding of the economy of Jamaica. And the dollar is, I think, is 150 something to 1. But in terms of the economy, in fact, this is what we are surprised about. The economy on the macro level has grown. The Minister of Finance reported that it is one of the strongest growths we have had over the history of Jamaica. So Jamaica's economy is not that bad, but in terms of the needs and the money filtering out into the society,
who are benefiting from it? That's the thing. Who are the benefactors? You know.
Well, you cannot say who are the people. People don't give money in people's hand like that.
No.
Infrastructure is part of it. Paying of salaries, paying of police. Just this morning again, to put that in, the Civil Service Association were offered 2.5% wage increase, and they rejected it, and they were offered 4%. So we cannot just say the people who are in the lower ends of the society not getting, therefore the economy is not growing. But they accepted 4%, and to give 4% to that bulk of people, it takes a lot of money. So when the discussion of the economic growth is taking place and who's benefit, you have to broaden it out. That's part of it. It's not just the few, well, not few, the majority maybe of the persons who are unemployed and in the broken down section of the society is not really reflected, but it has to be a balanced statement to reflect where the economy is going.
Do you have any idea what is the minimum wages in Jamaica?
I don't remember, because as I said, I'm not an economist, and figures that doesn't do well with me. But maybe, I don't know if...
Where's Courtney and Flavius, sir?
I'm here.
You have any idea?
Errol, as you were talking about the civil service situation.
Yes.
Yeah, but like that 4.5% or 4% that you're talking about, how do you relate it to the level of inflation that is happening in the country?
Well, Courtney, as I said, I am not an economist, and I cannot speak on your podcast to make an authoritative statement. I would not be able to say that, but the point is taken. Inflation is a factor, but if you could always find a variable to say the argument will have to continue, because nothing, in other words, Jamaica is not in a good position. Overall, it's not working for everybody. And because the lower sector of the society is not showing progress, then it would look like nothing is happening. But then it's a matter of balancing the upper end, the middle, and the lower. And I don't know to answer that kind of question. I'm not an economist, as I said.
Yeah, well, I do agree. I think one of the things to, the economist and the Minister of Finance have to look at is that, I was talking about, at the micro level, we realize that people in inner cities, there's no money circulating amongst them. And
all right, I just found the information. Sorry, maybe somebody can address that point. I just found as you asked, Franco, the minimum wage in Jamaica is 6,200 per week, except for security guards, where it is 5,500 per week. So that's the figure you just asked about. 6,000. You could check that and see what it is in US. 6,200 and 5,500. Doesn't mean that the public sector does that. It is for the workers who are paid by government, I think.
That's like $50 US.
Okay. Well,
that way there.
Steve Flavius, he's man who knows these things more than
That's
I
like
do.
$50.
$50. What is the normal minimum wage up there? Because I heard you people they were fighting to increase minimum wage to 15. Was it $15 or something?
Yeah, $15.
Yes, and it hasn't come true. So everywhere minimum wage is not adequate anywhere.
Well, the average, I think, for states level is like 7 something.
Yes.
While some states paying 10, some 12.
Okay.
13, etc. Depending on the states,
Yes.
Depending on the
That's
states.
per hour.
Per hour. Oh yeah, per hour. Yeah, it depending on the state. I am assuming. I am assuming that's what Errol is saying. What we just mentioned.
No. But if you
hold on, Flavius. I am assuming that what Errol said about what $6,000.
$6,200 per week.
I am a week. Oh well. That can't do nothing.
And 5,500 for security guards.
Yeah, that can't do nothing. That on a weekly salary. That can't.
If you multiply 40 by $7.
Yeah, about seven.
Where that out?
About 7 something. About 749, I think, or 7.
7 4 is 28. That is $200 and something per week.
Yeah, way more than Jamaica.
But that is 30,000 Jamaican. So if you match 30,000 to 6,000,
that's what I'm saying.
Immediately you can see
that's way more. Yeah. That's way more than Jamaica a week.
Yeah. Our minimum wage is ridiculous, totally ridiculous.
But then again, Flavius, part of it is that it has always been ridiculous. But then I guess maybe, as Courtney said, it is inflation that you have to measure it against, because this is not a living wage. It's not really a livable living wage. Yeah.
No, what happens is that everybody have to hustle. That's why I'm bringing the whole hustling thing. If you're not getting, I have been to schools where the teachers are more anxious for the bell than the students, because they have a second and a third job to do after them leave school. And that's a fact of life.
All over. Yes, that is true.
It's a fact of life in Jamaica.
And that's the same thing in America, where people have 4 jobs too?
Yeah, but let's talk about Jamaica now.
Okay, great. Because your panelists are your hosts are in America, so.
No, we're not ruling out America, but I'm saying Jamaica. If when we were going to school, teacher can stay back and spend time with the students, and can go home and prepare their lessons for the next day. That can't happen now, because them going home to try and sell something, try and do something to bridge the gap, to give them a livable wage. And that is our major problem. It's about 2, 3, and 4 jobs. Is who want these jobs.
Yeah.
So nurses and all that, nurses working 20 hours and still have to go try and hustle. That can't good.
But when you look at the economy, you think the economy can carry everybody at a high level as it should be? Isn't that a factor, or is it that people don't have a heart and they don't want to pay more? What do you think is the problem?
The main problem in Jamaica is built on a trading system.
Yes.
Right? If you
look at it this way. If you have a pie, if you have $100 in this pie, no matter how you slice it, it's only $100.
Yeah.
So what we need to increase the pie, which is what we're not doing. We need to sell stuff overseas to bring more money in the pie. We're not doing that. And if we don't
we are not doing it in a maximum way, because we are doing some.
No.
We are doing some, yes.
Yeah, but not enough to that is it. To everybody can live comfortable.
Yes.
Even at a low comfort.
Yes.
Way behind. Way behind. We need to be selling stuff. And we can. It's just that the proper infrastructure is not put in place. All right. Let's look at fruits. I will guarantee you that at least 50% of all fruits that ripe in Jamaica go to waste.
Yes.
Not deliberately, but because like when we have mango season, there's nothing in place to preserve all that mango that ripe. To just drop off of the tree and it just go back into the soil.
Yes.
Because the people around the place can't eat enough. And we don't have any
small industries to value added, to do the value added manufacturing.
Yeah, that's it. So this is one where we could save a lot of money and preserve and at the same time export.
Yes.
Look at craft. The whole crafting is dead, and crafting used to be big. I went to Cuba, and I found out why their crafting was so good, Well, it's one of the reasons. In Jamaica, when we make big items, tourists can't buy it.
Yes.
Because they can't carry it.
Yes.
It can't ship.
Interesting point, yes.
In Cuba, they build the same big thing, but they build it in modules.
Yes.
So it can be taken apart and put back apart. So it can be packed properly and shipped easily. So that, these things like this, we have to know. And we have to educate the people who are creating this stuff with them about a whole heap of ingenious things that they create. Yes. Very nice stuff. But if it creates and nobody can buy it, what's the use? How it help us?
Good point.
So these are little things that that's in the tourism realm, and they keep talking about X, Y, and Z. And them do a simple little idea like that. Look how close we are to Cuba. And we don't go there and research and look what them doing. So we can use that to help us. We're not doing that. And these are the things that we have to do if we want to move forward. Because Jamaica can't sell anything now. Because people have been doing that. I mean, I remember when I was in Toronto, if you go to the liquor store, you buy a bottle of rum, marked Jamaica rum. When you open it, even water stronger than it. I tell you. You don't smell nothing. I mean, that don't happen much anymore.
Yes.
But the amount of people that sell our stuff. All right, look at another marketing thing for the country. Blue Mountain Coffee accepted as the best coffee in the world. You tell me where there's only one Blue Mountain coffee shop anywhere in the world. Tell me. Anywhere in the world, you go find one. We have the best coffee, and we do have a Blue Mountain coffee shop. And the same thing for chocolate. We have the best chocolate in the world.
Yes.
But our chocolate is never put on the market. It is sold to these big chocolate makers that put it in their mix to spice up their mix. But the name Jamaica don't appear anywhere.
Yeah,
that's the same thing for the coffee.
Yes.
And the same thing for the coffee. The coffee is bought up mostly by the Japanese and then blend it with other stuff and brand it. But Jamaica is nowhere there.
Well, those are some of the considerations, and in the
simple little things,
micro economy. But on the bigger picture, I guess the those who manage the economy are looking at the bigger ones and always not pulling along the small one.
What bigger ones? What is bigger than coffee?
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying the things that are ongoing. I mean, yes, it's a big agricultural product. I don't know what is the next thing you have on your agenda, but I want to introduce a topic to see if what the panel would say. I noticed, talk about agriculture, so this is a way of getting it linked. I noticed that some online petition was launched for the reinstatement of Floyd Green as Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, following his resignation on Wednesday. Because hold on, a birthday party where COVID protocols were breached. The target is 5,000. I'm not sure I heard correctly this morning that the figure is how much thousand so far. Don't know if it has exceeded it, but in terms of a discussion point, what do we have to say about that?
Well, what I would say,
yes,
I'm not quite sure what type of impact it would have made in a short time.
Yes,
I personally think that it was a very good look.
Yes.
You
mean the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries? You mean it was taking a shape that you were satisfied with in terms of the movement?
Not satisfied, but that really, totally satisfied, but it looked like it had promise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the debacle that happened.
Yes.
I wouldn't bring him back for anything at all.
You mean not in terms of down the road or any time at all? That's what you're saying?
Any time at all.
Why are you saying that? No, I mean his opinion now. So his opinion. So I respect your opinion.
This is my personal opinion. It has nothing to do with the reason.
Understand.
So podcast. This is Flavius Laidley's opinion.
Because
why? Disrespect.
Disrespect.
For the people of Jamaica. Yes.
Yes.
Disrespect. Is not only the breach of the COVID thing.
Yes.
But is what was shown.
Yes. The mocking, quote unquote.
People in Jamaica can't. Yeah, that's part of it. But people in Jamaica, I think the strongest point to me is that the people in Jamaica at the present time are suffering. They cannot buy food. They can't buy chicken back. And they are flaunting bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of champagne. I think that was very, very disrespectful.
Okay.
Very disrespectful. I mean, the whole thing about no movement day, and I mean, to me, that is so childish.
Yes.
That was so childish.
Okay. So
but I think this disrespect
is your strong point for why you wouldn't bring him back. But let me ask you.
It's not something that Jamaica likely.
Yeah, let me ask you this. So, all right, so I hear you, and it's a very strong point in the discussion. Now, of course, you can only speak about what you have seen. You can talk about those who have been disrespectful in private. Because if that were the case, if it were to come out, so we speak about what we've seen.
Yes.
So not to justify by saying others have, but what about others in the past who have, well, maybe you wouldn't say they were disrespectful. They made slip up, they made errors of judgment, but you consider disrespect to be a more dangerous, egregious act than some of the things that past persons have done and have returned and even take high office in Jamaica. You put that so high?
Yeah, man, very high, very high, very high. I'm not in agreement of the return of many of these people who
had to
went
resign
around the whole thing.
Step down, yes.
Let me tell you. Some of them, nothing happened because another of the disrespect that happened in years gone by, people on both sides, is racking up $1 million phone bill.
Okay.
I think those people should have been gone.
Okay.
Gone.
Well,
that is total disrespect.
Flavius, the point is taken. Disrespect has to be top. If you were to do top 10 of charges that would disqualify persons, that would have to be flaunting and disregarding what you stand for. Has to be seen. But the other side, one of the arguments is that you should not be rushed back into a position, but you should give time to reform, to reflect. So you don't give any place for reforming and repentance and renewal and restoration, even not over time. You don't have any space in your thinking for that?
Yeah, man, over time, yes, but not like now we say,
okay,
you know, the man do wrong and say, oh, I can find something else for him do.
I see. I see what you're making. In other words, that's a strong point of view too. Even on the radio, RJR radio, there are people and there's a program that they discuss certain weekly issue, and that point was being made that it should not be restored right away or even given another office right away, because to me the big problem is that when you are part of a cabinet that makes the rules, quote unquote, and you flout it, it is not just that you are irresponsible and a youthful exuberance, but as you said, it is disrespect the very office that you hold. And so nobody can say that he should not be punished, quote unquote. So it is a strong point to be made as to how long it should take, whether he should go back into the same ministry or take a few years off before or be assigned elsewhere. That is really where it will come down. And what the Prime Minister does will definitely say a lot about the accountability, and as you know, we all know that is supposed to be.
Well, basically, what he's saying now is that I cannot be trusted. That's what he has said.
He has demonstrated that, and I think there are strong arguments on both sides. And again, if a guy makes a mistake and so on, let me ask you: suppose he had misappropriated some funds. We don't know that he has, so I'm not saying that he has. Would you consider it less egregious than the disrespect, or would you balance that? If he had said, allegedly he had spent money, misappropriate funds, would you consider that more serious than, or as serious as the disrespect that you mentioned?
It would be. I think what he has done now, I mean, I don't think that can be topped. If
he is the highest echelon of crimes, quote unquote.
Yeah, if he had misappropriated funds.
Yes.
Yeah, misappropriated funds, then that's a police matter. And them can go and lock him up.
Okay.
And send him to prison, like one MP that I'm team already.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So that's a different thing completely.
Yes. What about the point? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
What about the point that people are saying?
Welcome, Leighton. Morning, Leighton.
Oh, somebody's coming in?
He's in already.
Okay, yes. All right. Until somebody else speaks, let me just keep it going. Some people have said that they should have been locked up. But then I don't know if that's a strong argument, because it's not like a case where, as we know, one of our popular DJs had issue and had to pay some maybe $150,000. But that was an actual occasion that the police could move in. But when you have the video as the only evidence after, the locking up would onerous. Suppose they had found them in that position. Do you think they could have been locked up or should have been locked up, arrested? Or is it an arrestable offense in that occasion? And what do you think will follow?
It depends on what the order says.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what the order said.
I understand.
But Errol.
Yes.
But don't you think that a high-level party or a session like that, that the police would have gotten some kind of intelligence on that?
Not necessarily, because remember, it's a private space. It's not like they were out into an open party with invitation and invitation as well. It's a private space, and it wasn't a whole lot of people. So you have to kind of look at it in a holistic way. It's not like somebody put on a public party and inviting people to come and pay and so on and buy at the gate and so on. It was just a private thing, and I think the problem is the no movement day. I don't know if there was much movement in terms of. Yeah. There was much movement in terms of people that moved from place to place, or they were all in a controlled space. I don't know, but I don't know that. I don't know to answer you on that, Courtney. It's a point for discussion. I don't know.
Yeah, and the fact is that they're all cognizant and of the whole situation. And that is a big slam in the face to the people, in inner cities and things. And as you had mentioned before, that there was a popular entertainer who got fined for doing something similar.
I don't know if it's just similar. I don't know if it's just similar, but is it under the same
It's the same law. It's similar it's similar in the sense that and maybe that situation is worse because
Which one is worse? Which one?
The last one with the minister, because it was a no movement date. This the entertainer was breaking a curfew hour.
Okay. The thing too, Courtney, to bear out the point and to keep the discussion going. Remember the police officer, what's his name again? The top of the police, the commissioner, said that he has gotten the video and it has been turned over to relevant authorities to see what measures. Now, what we have to wait and see, we may say that it's slow and so on, but we have to wait and see if they will be charged and they will have to go to court and whether they will be fined or whatever charges. So that we have to wait on that. Again, we could say that it is very slow in coming, but because they were not arrested or could not be arrested on the occasion, because it's a video evidence which came out after, then you will not know until they have acted. So we have to wait and see whether they will be fined and all the level of fine. So we have to hold that until it comes up.
But Errol, do you know that in some jurisdiction,
the
whole government would have to go?
I suppose so, but we have a country to run, and we have to think of the government in waiting, or competent and ready that government is. So we have to talk about precedents, and this is not how we operate in Jamaica. And I don't know the government would sacrifice their political thing and their privileges and their power was one guy, quote unquote, one guy did something wrong and all of go. But it's a point in some jurisdiction, but I don't know where that is. If you can tell me where that would happen.
No. The simple point is this: that Jamaican politics is based on cronyism and nepotism and all kind of ism. That people in those kind of position, there's a different justice system for them, so to speak.
Courtney, you see, those are blatant statements you are making. You cannot say definitively that.
All right. Let us examine.
No, let me finish the point. But no, you make a blatant statement, and for discussion and balance and argument, there are two sides. It is true that we have practiced cronyism. Both parties, the major parties, have been charged for that. But you cannot say that the government is based on cronyism, as if that is the policy by which it happens as a side effect or a collateral damage along the way. So when we say these things, especially when people of other political persuasions, our listeners, we cannot just say those things and let them run because
no.
What's the point?
All right. Let me be clear then, because
yes.
You may think I am talking in favor of one.
No, I'm not judging you, Courtney. I'm just saying that I disagree with, but I see it being put in the context of a discussion. So, but I cannot be part of the discussion and you make a statement like that.
No. If you notice my words, let me repeat a little bit. Yes. So our political system.
Yes.
And that means everybody who come into the system,
yes,
whether from this PR, that PR, any other P, that's the same practice that goes on and on and on. All right. We even see it in corporate business that if I am the president or CEO, I can sexually harass a woman and it's okay. But let a junior man down who works on the floor do the same thing that I do, and I am fired.
Well, yes, I mean, those things happen. And yes, it's right. You're not in a perfect... Hold on. Yes, but to establish...
I'm getting at. Just express the point. Because this is what I'm getting at. Yes. Because of this old practice of cronyism, are having a high-level position in an organization, you think our tendency is that you have the privilege to do something an ordinary citizen cannot do and get away with it.
You unmute him?
Well, I see the point you're making. The point I am making is that
I don't see how to do that.
Establish that it is like a policy. It is a practice that happens at all levels of society. It happens in church. It happens in political organizations. It happens in military organizations. It happens in private situations.
I know, but I'm not co-host yet.
I'm sure it seem to be.
I am not co-host yet. It has been told me that.
I get your point you're making, Courtney, and it is a strong point. But all I'm saying is that it cannot be established as if it's a policy operational measure. It is collateral damage, quote unquote, of people in power having privileges. It is true, it happens, but it is not like it is put there as a policy. It depends on the individual because there are some persons.
Yeah, okay, I'm seeing that now. I'm seeing that now.
And some persons.
How do I unmute him?
Can you ask Courtney Flavius to mute his mic, please, so that you can...
I did.
Flavius, in the meantime, mute your mic because you're in the conversation on the phone.
Yes, Courtney. It is a very important point. And putting about, I'm not accusing you or saying you're talking. And look how you're a broad spectrum speaker, and I think you are making a very strong point. And it is the experience of a number of persons.
Of course,
it's an experience. But I'm just saying we have to make it known that it is left to the individuals.
Yeah, you are now unmuted. You can go jump right in.
Not a policy. Okay.
Flavius
is on.
Yeah, good. Jump in, man. Jump right in, Leighton.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I heard the discussion on the whole the minister and whether he could be arrested and very, very good points with respect to if it's an arrestable offense and looking at where the video how it originated, the day it originated. There's a lot of facets on it, and usually just as how outraged we were,
yes,
you have to look at the spirit of things. And I speak to the minister being a symbol and a guardian of the prime minister's mandate of so it's that symbolism which really was a symbol acting in contravention to the mandate as stipulated by the government, meaning, boy, we want more movement. We really want to pass it down to the whole population. We want them buy into it.
Yes.
And I think that in itself was very, very significant. And I thought it was very good that the action, whether it's the Prime Minister, whether it's him or whatever, but the action that was taken. Also, just to speak to the issue of, people generally saying, oh, it's cronyism and so forth. You see, it's a climate in which we have always known. So by virtue of that, we always default to it. And as was rightly said, it is not a written policy to say, oh, we are going to behave like this. All politicians, once they go into politics, they're going to come out richer. Mm-hmm. Because we in our Jamaican context, I don't know a politician that has come out poorer. I mean, if you look way back politicians, back politicians, they probably died penniless.
Yes.
In certain instances, but you don't see that. And because you don't see that, you see struggling economy, you see people are asked to tighten them belt, but yet you see these people becoming super rich. And there's always a default to say, boy, oh, my wife does this, my wife. So with all of this, I think you were right in saying that, look, we can't make that gross generalization, but we know that the whole business of chicanery and underhanded dealing is a persistent state within our context. But we're trying to find solutions.
Let me trigger something else in you.
Mm-hmm.
They recently, it was put in the integrity of operational integrity processes, demand that you declare annually your assets. And a part of it was that some people cannot, some people have not. Of the persons who have not declared, is it that they are afraid to, based on what they have to declare and what measures are being taken? Without calling anybody's name, what is your take on that legislation and how it operates effectively?
Okay, the Integrity Commission, and basically if you earn, I think, over $2 million,
yes,
and you're a public servant, I think you should, you're asked to really declare your assets.
Annually,
and so
right?
forth. Yeah, annually.
Yes.
And, most officers most officers of the JDF had to do it. And I had to do it most of the time. If you look at the enforcement capability of that commission, it is found wanting. Like so many things we stand up, so many organizations we stand up, but it don't really have the teeth of enforcement, or if there is a body that is acting in corollary with it to do it, because it's so disjointed. There's so many things that are so disjointed.
Yes.
And you're so right. Once one doesn't declare, there should be some amount of penalties taken starting from on the ground, administratively, in the organization you are a part of. And that must include political parties.
Yes.
Army, police force, all of these things. Administrative action should be taken, until it is done. Because I find the commission, even when you make the submission, for them to even look and say you are compliant and you're on a compliant listing.
You don't even get that?
No, I don't think so.
All right, good. I don't know what the hosts have next point, but I'd like to hear your view on a particular topic, because I know this is maybe close to the heart of Flavius as well. A reputable pollster in Jamaica, they have been rolling out some polls. Get the whole matter. But one of the points found is that the online teaching learning has not been effective in Jamaica. In terms of producing violence producers, what effect do you think this will have? Just a projection, okay? You don't have the evidence, and I know you are a straight thinker. What effect do you think this will have on these young people losing out their education and just, as Flavius had said a few weeks ago, feed into the criminal stream?
Okay. Well, first of all, there's the whole business of, one of the things that I looked at when I was there is the unconnected youth, right? The youth that was not connected to schools, to whatever. But we come to the microcosm of what we are speaking about. And that's the whole business of online learning. Yes. And if we look at the digital divide that exists, we find that there can be a lot of questions asked as to whether, it will ever be effective, right? But as a rule of thumb, let's go back to me at Jamaica College, a boy growing up at Jamaica College, and to know how much attention boys need. Sit down and behave yourself, boy. You think you're a man, boy? I react well to this teacher, and that teacher know me a little better. And so, what you doing? Boy, sleep, you don't sleep on your bed. And the whole attention and getting involved and say, all right, I can take this student and we're going to go through this thing, and boy, we're going to beat that group and so forth. And, there's the whole business of really getting involved in ways that you can't online. You can't online. I don't know. I don't know if you saw this.
Yes.
I sent out a video. I sent it out to Franco, and it was this student sleeping, and yet there was a mannequin looking into the computer.
I don't know if I received that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, there was a mannequin looking into the computer.
Yes.
So you see the whole business of the attention. Children have on half part of them uniform, and the whole business of discipline of getting yourself ready, and that. But again, they said X amount of students never got online during the period. So what exactly were they doing? And their parents can't supervise them on a daily basis.
Seriously.
And within the Jamaican context, we know a lot of the criminal activities are done by children as young as 12 years old.
Right? 14, 15.
As young as 12 years old.
Yes. And
I am saying, where are they? I mean, even in time of school and truancy, they would act like they're going to school, and then some triggers would come and say, hey, why this person didn't show up? But even the teacher online say, oh, we're doing a register and so forth. But when you do the register, that's it. Was he there in the middle of class? What's the participation level? Who knows what? Can a mother go after a year of digital thing and saying, what was his participation like? But I speak to the whole business of not being connected.
Yes.
I am sure it's going to affect.
It's going to have a negative effect. It's going to have a very negative impact down the road in a few years.
I do think.
And this is going to just keep the thing going. And then, of course, people definitely want face-to-face. And then the problem is that the vaccine thing is dipping. I think I heard the Prime Minister say that, if I'm correct. And I don't know what's going to happen, Virgin. It is really, it's sad.
But
yes.
But I was looking, and I was just looking at a interview. I think was Mr. Ward was having an interview with a professor from Howard, and an ex-FBI agent. I don't know if you saw that.
Just go ahead, maybe I will. Yes.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago.
No.
You saw that?
No.
I can't.
Yeah, but basically, the professor said the crime problem. She was looking at the crime problem from the justice system, and the delay of court cases. Yes. She said that in itself, justice delayed is justice denied.
Denied.
And so,
right?
Yeah. So she said she was saying, boy. So she said there was a civil case that was in the system for some 21 years, right? And what you are saying is that because you have this delay, a lot of people could go back into society and pretty much held without bail to a lot of time.
Yes.
And so forth. And she says some of the legislation is not well thought out. As you can see with the gang legislation, as the Uchin gang, how most of them get away. And I think
you heard that they're having a trial. Particular gang.
And it's probably going to be a lawyer's field day with in terms of the lacuna, the loopholes that this legislation has, and they have to go back to the drawing board after so many years, and then you unleash these people into society. But anyway, she was talking to it from that perspective. And then there was the other perspective. The FBI person was talking about he says the system, the structure of the police system is so old. It is something that even the Brits are not using again, right? They're not using it again. And he's saying that his first question is, you could put all the system in place, but if you have corrupt people to run it, and that, therein he says, lies fundamental problems.
Yes.
He says, if him say you could get all the best thing, you can get people tying in, but if there is corrupt people running the system, to what end? They won't be telling criminal entities X, Y, Z, so therefore the system never works, or some people will never want the system to work.
Serious thing.
And these are real and not imagined questions, because you can approach crime from all sorts of things. The whole business of how the youth, and starting from there, the whole social programs, connections, how some are unconnected, and so forth. All these things you can put in place, but corruption, the people. At what point in time are we going to say that, look, enough is enough? I give you a little in, and this is a little in. When Lewin took over, the police force, a lot of people spoke about the fact that, boy, he didn't really have the right approach because he didn't unify the police force. He was saying, oh, there's criminal among us. But you know what he did? Believe it or not. This is what he did, Known crime fighter. Him say, look, you're on my program or you're off my program. Because he have to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were saying, no, these people are supposed to be fired. And the man was in a predicament, because if you run the man out, you're going to have a schism within the police force, right?
That's true.
Now, when Ellington was there, which I thought Ellington was probably one of the best to come from within, very articulate, bright person and so forth, but there's allegations that, boy, certain people did certain things for him at certain point. Allegations.
Yes.
And I am just saying, when you come from within, did you turn your head away from certain things, because is that corruption by omission? There's so many things. There's so many things for us to look at. But I don't think the solution is someone coming from outside the police force, because you're going to have the undercurrents of those who don't support it from within.
Yes.
And if you have that undercurrent
at the top level too, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you have the undercurrent, nothing now goes so right. It's not going to go right.
Gentlemen, I'm dipping in. You see, we can have this conversation for the whole day, or for next week again. We can continue it, and we're going to be, be discussing and coming back. How can we solve all of this? How can we solve all of this? So,
well, Francis. Well, that's one of the things. I stated the very ugly and not sexy things that we have to address. It's real. I mean, are you going to disband the police force? Costa Rica disbanded their army and so forth.
Yeah, I did.
Are you going to disband the police force? But you disband the police force. Can the military really carry out law and order thing? What would be the time period of phasing out and so forth? Do you, there's, it's some hard questions, because you do have some very honest and hard-working policemen and so forth that really, really, really would love to see the system work and so forth.
All right.
We're
going to do it over again next week. Another discussion on crime, tourism, and what can work, what can juice our economy so that people can start work again. Not just to just depend on tourism and thing like that. No, just
But Francis, just very quickly, do you think how our tourism product developed? Okay. Tourism really started in Portland, and it was medical tourism. That's where it first started. Medical tourism. And then, as time evolved, Montego Bay was it. Now, if you look at the workers who live in the surrounding places, they were never really provided for. They had to live in squatter communities, and it is from the community that they developed,
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, and I am saying, was there some amount of conscience in how the who's who? Because every day them saying, oh, we lost the stalwart in the tourism thing and so forth. But these people who gave their lives and human service are white people come back year after year. The little man will come from flankers and so forth, and have to get up early in the morning and all the confusion. And I'm saying our tourism product and its development has to be sustainable for the employees that work there. And I think it's really been us and them, even in that context,
All right, join us next week again, Leighton.
I certainly will.
That. Let me remind our viewers that at this time of the year, from the 15th of September to the 15th of October, Americans celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. So by appreciating the community history, heritage, and contribution of ancestors of American citizens who came from Mexico, Spain, the Caribbean, and South and Central America. So we know from this time onward to October 15th is National Hispanic Heritage Month. So support it, guys, if you can. For those of you who are listening and viewing us, I'm going to give you more information on it tomorrow. Okay, so please remember to subscribe, like, and share the video. And the object of this channel is to educate and entertain you. And the Real Stuff Podcast is your Caribbean podcast. So live and love every moment of your life. Be grateful for each new day. Cherish your family, friends, bless others, keep the faith, and never lose hope. And remember, prayer changes things regardless of what religion you belong to. You must pray and continue to pray. On behalf of my podcasting team, Flavius, Courtney, Maxwanette, Francine, yours truly, Franco, wishing you a pleasant morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're in. And tomorrow we do it all over again. So thanks, gentlemen. As somebody mentioned in the chat room, men at work. It's good to see men at work. So and for all our viewers in the chat room this morning on YouTube channel, we thank you for taking time out and for spending some time with us. And do join us tomorrow. All right, we're gonna have the Queen Lubafu to say the Our Father for us in the Garifuna language, and Tafina will take with myself to take us out of here.
You lead us to Fula. You belong far away away. Ajugwala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless. Unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
One word is enough, and I'm no longer sorrow. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna